What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Where did I get that old intro from? What's up, everybody? It's Greg Gray. It's Dope Living TV Live. Let me start off by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. We got a very, very, very important show today. We want to talk about, well, I'll put it like this. A lot of people, and you all have to excuse my feed again. I know, Mo, it ain't looking good. But a lot of people are talking about the recent actions of our president concerning the disarming of nuclear capabilities by Iran. Now, a lot of people say he's doing it because it's showing our strength as a country, a superpower that we once were. Some people are saying we get ready to go to World War III. I don't know. We're going to talk about it today here on the show. Come on.
Yo, what's up, man?
I don't know, man. Look, I'm gonna have to do. I gotta do something with this feed I got here because it's blurry.
Need to move everything. Move it to closer to your router or something.
I probably just need to move. Period.
Oh,
just move. But yeah. I'll get it together eventually. That's okay. I mean, they don't need to see me anymore. They just need to see y'all pretty faces. So it's all good.
Man.
Hey, the NBA draft is on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not that it's gonna profit us any, but you know, it's on.
It's on.
But man, we're gonna talk about some more important things. I think this is more your wheelhouse, man, because you always stay up on current events.
Yeah, I try to stay up on current events. I can't help it. I mean, I do a lot of windshield time, so you know, and I got satellite radio, so there's a lot of things. I think there's a lot of stations I know to stay away from, and there's a lot of stations that I actually listen to because you can tell by what you listen to how the truth is popping out. You know, you can tell people that are doing propaganda, and it happens on both sides of the fence. You know, ain't none of them straight right and none of them straight wrong. It's just that they don't tell everything, you know, for the most part. You know, and like Greg said earlier, it's just my opinion. You know, one thing I've learned, if I haven't learned anything in my life, is that it's hard to take a lot of stuff at face value when the face is jacked up. You know,
come on. So it's crazy, right? So again, though,
it is. I mean, because
it is opinion, and no, we can't fault anybody for their opinion, but we said this plenty of times. Went through an election with no mess this time, I guess, and the man's been elected president. We have to support what our president, who he is, and what he does. Okay, does not mean that we have to agree with it. But I mean, there's nothing we can do. We can't change the outcome. You know what I'm saying?
No, the outcome is what it is. And some people don't believe it was the way it was. But it's the same thing, the shoe on the other foot has been on the other foot before too. You know, with Trump. Again, he's our president. And if I said today, well, forget about everything he done. You know, forget about everything. Everything he done up to this point. And he only been in office for 6 months. Second time around. Think about this. He has done more in 6 months than he did in the last 4 years. Think about that.
Hey.
What up,
Hey,
Gina?
Hey, Gina. Think about that
Doing
for a
double
minute.
duty today. Hey, man, I really, people on both sides of this. Again, like I said, they say that, hey, we are showing our strength now as a superpower. We're supposed to be able to straighten all that out.
Who's saying that?
A lot of
There's
people.
a lot of people on the right, far right, saying that we're flexing our muscle because we're the biggest, baddest. You know,
That wasn't flexing anything. That was like a 12th grader
move.
beating up a kindergarten.
That's a bully move.
That's not. That wasn't flexing anything. He didn't do anything.
No, it's a bully move.
Well, he made an executive decision, and you know, he's showing these people that, you know, if we say something as a superpower, understand we mean what we say.
Bro, Iran is a little kindergartner. Iran is a little kindergarten. He did not do anything. You went to pick on a small little country that you know can't fight back, and he didn't even do anything. Even drop it. What did he spend? Like millions of dollars to drop those bombs that
I bet you
didn't do anything but set them back a couple of months. He didn't listen. If he had destroyed the uranium and all this stuff they were using to make a nuclear bomb and all this he's saying, then there's no evidence of any radiation in the air. Where's the radiation?
Right.
Okay.
See, that's the thing about it.
Well, he didn't drop a nuclear bomb.
No, he didn't. But they had the material to make a nuclear bombs. So if he had really destroyed something in there that had to do with any nuclear or anything, there would be radiation in the air.
Right, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for evidence of some kind of destruction of the purification facilities that are underground. And if they actually got a hold of it, like they thought there was, like they thought they did, it would be radiation leaks.
Right. This is just like, what was it back years ago? What was it in the 90s? The weapons of mass destruction, remember? And everybody was they had us all scared, and you know, we were afraid that we were going to be like Hiroshima.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is, when you go around doing the things that you do, you always have to look over your back. I always say that if you go around doing stupid stuff, as bullies do, you always got to look over your shoulder to see when that redemption's coming, when somebody gonna get you back. Trump is that kind of person. He just gonna do it, and he don't care about the consequences because he got enough money to keep security on 24/7, 365. The one thing he can't get away from is when God come knock you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, let's come on."
Say that again, Mo.
When God comes knock you on the shoulder, he say, "Come go with me," and nothing you can do about it.
Okay, so let's look at the other side then. So is this going to escalate another war that the United States will be involved in?
No, this is not going to escalate a war.
You got two people that, for one, you got the Jewish, prime minister, president, whatever they call a leader over there. You got him, and he's just as big as warmonger as Trump is. I get it. He's got a reason. If anybody's got a reason to drop any bombs on Iran, he does. But he didn't.
You calling Trump a warmonger? A warmonger?
I'm calling him a warmonger.
Why?
That's what
call a spade a spade, bro. Call a spade a spade.
It is. So,
and you know what? Go ahead, Mo.
I mean, he if anybody's got, has a reason to do any of the stuff that Trump done, he does, And it seemed like he was waiting on Trump to pop off, like he was egging him on. It just seemed like, how Bush said, "I dare you, go ahead and do it," and he did it.
He played him like a puppet.
Oh man,
he played him like a puppet on a string. But he knew how to do it because he's so predictable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Those people Africa has been at war since the beginning of time, and they're gonna be at war when everything's over. You know, that's just the way that part of the country is, and that's the way it is. It started over there, it's gonna end over there. You know, that's my opinion.
So but I really felt like it was more of Trump. Everything to me, and this is the way I view it, everything to me is him getting a feather in his cap, trying to write history and say he's the first to do this, he's the first to do that, the only president, because that's all that he spews. I'm the first president that did this. I did this the best. I'm better than all the other presidents and everyone loves me more. That's all he spews. And a lot of his decisions are based on how much publicity and and things that he can get to put that feather in his cap.
Well,
it's not for the American people.
So you don't think it's for
making choices for the American people?
No, because it's been plenty of presidents to justify what he done. You know, it's plenty of presidents that could have justified what he done, but he went around everybody. At least Bush did go into Congress and say, "Hey, we finna go do shock and awe over here in Iraq because we're looking for Saddam," and he got permission to do it. You know, Trump, he said, "Get out. We're not gonna get no permission. Load up the planes. Let's go get him." You know.
Okay, now they said that what he did was unconstitutional. Do you feel it was unconstitutional for him to do that without permission?
He always rides roughshod over the rules every time. That's his.
But his thinking is, it's like that bad kid. Like every one of us had a sibling that was like that. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'll suffer the consequences later. I might get in trouble, I might not, but I'm gonna stick my neck out here and see. And by the time something is done, or by the time it's done the right way, he's already done it, and he's on to something else. So they running around here trying to do things the right way, and let's do this, let's get Congress to do this, let's pass some bills so he can't do. By the time they do all that, he done it.
Yeah,
and he knows this, and that's why he goes out there like that.
So, Gina, you think he got a case of ADD too?
I don't think he got a case of ADD. I think he got. I really do believe he has dementia. Beginning stages of dementia. If you look at the way he presented himself back years ago, and the way he's sluggish, he's losing his memory. You could tell he's sometimes having trouble thinking of things to say. I don't think he's as sharp as he used to be.
No, he's not close.
If you compare some of the things he used to say and some of the speeches he made in the past and how he speaks now, you can kind of see it.
When you say past, how far in the past? 80s, 90s, 70s?
Yeah, 80s, back even before he was in politics.
Back in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. I mean, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, before he was even in politics, if you listen to the way he spoke then and the way he speaks now, it's totally different.
That's crazy. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Byron said that Mango Unchained is an arrogant, egomaniac maniac with zero class and respect for the law. Yeah. And Frank says that he needs a case of getting his ass kicked. I mean,
he probably did.
I made a statement that I don't think he's doing everything wrong. There is a lot of things he's doing wrong, but not everything he's doing is wrong. And I'll give you some examples of how I feel that, I'm with you on some of these things. I really don't feel like parents should do things, give their kids these transgender drugs before they're old enough to really make a decision. You know what I'm saying? When you're 9, 10, 14, 15, you still finding yourself. True. They might feel like they want to be with women. A young girl might feel like she want to be with a woman today. 10 years from now, she may not, and vice versa. And so to give your child a decision to say, yes, I want to be I was born a boy, but I want to be a girl, and you help them to make that change at a age where they're under 18. I don't think that's right. So I was with him on that. Let them grow up and make their decision when they're grown, just like we do. We don't say to our children, you can make this decision if you want to drink alcohol or not. We know that they shouldn't be drinking alcohol, so we don't give it to them. You know what I'm saying?
But they're going to do what they're going to do anyway, though.
That's true. But in this case, with the transgender stuff that's going on, they can't do what they want to do because you got to have a parent's permission. They can't just go out there and get these drugs to change their hormones and things like that. So those things like that, I'm with him on it. I'm even with him on, cutting out taxes for tips and all those things he's talking about. I'm with him on that. Hey, the people don't make minimum wage anyway, and to tax it, the tips that they make, I think that's crazy because I used to be a waitress at one time, and to tax the tips is crazy to me. But even with some of the good stuff he do, he always add vinegar to it. Like, where are you don't have a plan to even do this. Where are you going to get the money from? Where are you going to get the money to cut these things that he's trying to cut? Because right now I feel like he's how do you say it? Stealing from Paul. How did that stand go? There you go. That's what he's doing right now.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
That's what I feel like he's doing right now. He's robbing Peter to pay Paul. So you got these good ideas, but you have no plan to implement them.
Okay, now let me ask you.
That's why I have the problem.
Let me ask you this. Well, let me read these comments first. Rachel says that, I'm sorry, put it up there. Trump is standing behind that he is acting in the interest of national security. That means he doesn't need Congress's permission. Felice said he used Iran as a way of deflecting the sinking polls after the waste of millions of dollars for his birthday parade and the millions of people protesting on that day. Interesting.
Thanks, Felice, for saying that.
Yeah, right.
I won't have to say it.
Forgot about that because we've been pointing at all this other stuff. $1 billion parade.
People stop talking about his $1 billion parade because now they talking about Iran and Israel. Well, so they didn't stop talking about that.
So what y'all both are saying?
That went under the 250th anniversary of the Army. That the parade was.
To me, it sounds like
Mo, and that happens to be on his birthday, Mo.
It sounds like to me that you guys are saying he does something to self-gratify himself, and in order to cover it up so that people won't say anything, he does something else.
Right,
bro. Well, what he does is he lights the match that sets the fire, and then he goes and put on a fire uniform and puts the fire out. That's what he does.
Okay. I said this last time and I'll say it again. He's a master of breaking something and then going back and fixing it and saying he done something.
Right, right. And then he looks like the hero. He's the hero because he put the fire out. But you were the one who lit the match and started the fire. Stop it.
You the one pulled the gas on the booth.
Y'all funny, man.
But he's a master of that. Think about it. Oh, look over there. By that time, he got something else going on over here. Something done blew up. He's over there with the fire suit on, putting it out,
Y'all funny. Rachel said the law was passed because children were going out of the country for the hormones. Those hormones were not tested and were disfiguring people up to death. He acts like a magician.
He distracts like a magician. But you know what? And the reason I said that, it's some things that I am for him. I really think, you're doing I like what you're doing. But the thing is, his lawlessness really muddies it up. His lawlessness and
that's what a lot of
his lying.
That's what a lot of true conservatives can't get behind him. They can't get behind him, claiming to be an evangelical or whatever the heck they call themselves now, and he's lying and cheating the way he's doing. I don't understand that part. And you think about the power grabs that are going on. I don't know if it's people they owe, from the Proud Boys, although he's.
Oh, I believe so. I believe a lot of them he got something on.
I think a lot of people he got something on, or somebody got some stuff on him. Like I think Putin. I think he got some major dirt on him.
So let's talk about that for a second, though. So he's doing a lot of other things in Gina's statement. But what do you all think? And we get back to the Iran and the bombing and all this sort of stuff. What do you think about him pardoning people?
That's got
pardoning the people that he's pardoned, I should say. Do you think he's going
to
pardon?
He only pardoning the criminals.
Exactly.
He only pardoning the criminals or the ones who he's benefiting from.
Right. You got
He's
people
not
like
pardoning. Go ahead, Mo.
You got people like R. Kelly and P. Diddy getting run over, getting a book thrown at him. And these people, you don't let people out there done kill folks. You got murderers. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And he doesn't let them out of jail. But like I said, he's the master of that. He broke it and he went back and fixed it. Guess what? He got somebody for life. He got them votes for him for life.
He is our president. Okay. Support.
Your president.
U.S. Intel is saying that the Iran strike only put Iran's nuclear program back by months.
That's what I just said. What I just said. And guess what? Now they're going to go deeper underground. It's going to be hard. At least they were being tracked. They were being tracked as to the material that they were using and how much of it, so on and so forth. Now, that's not even going to be tracked. They laughing at him. I don't care what nobody say. They laughing at him.
You think so?
Yeah.
I know they are. They showed it on camera.
If anybody got any sense over in Iran, they're not going to sit up and say, "Oh yeah, he destroyed everything." They're not going to say that.
Right.
They're not going to admit it, or they're not going to do the opposite, or they're not going to sit up and say, "No, they didn't destroy nothing. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing because he'll drop another bomb on them just cause."
Look, if he could buy his way into a Nobel Peace Prize, he would. He want to sit around and talk about how he is not he doesn't care that, and then he keep comparing himself to Obama.
I don't know what's
he keep comparing himself to Obama. Like,
what's
dude, you will never be an Obama. And people can say, I know a lot of people didn't like Obama. They didn't like him. They feel like he didn't do much as a president. He couldn't do much. His hands was tied. Because the Republicans had everything then. And everything he tried to do, they shut him down.
Yeah. The thing about Obama, the difference between Obama and the difference between Trump is Obama is not a self-serving, selfish person. He's not what do they call him? People like Trump, what do they call him?
Whoremonger? Oh, no, that's not the word.
Narcissist is what I'm looking for. Obama's
I'm not even gonna say this. I'm not even gonna throw the disclaimer out no more.
He's not a narcissist. So the thing about it is, a lot of folks thought Obama was too soft, but Obama was very strong. You got to remember that he had to endure way more stuff. Trump's back is very, very weak in comparison.
Oh,
he can't stand nobody calling him out his name. He ready to put him in jail and all that stuff just for talking about it. He done fired folks for talking about it.
Police said he's vindictive and went after all involved in prosecuting the January 6th failed takeover.
I can see him pardoning some of those people. I cannot see him pardoning all. And again, some of them, maybe they shouldn't have been doing it. They were at the wrong place at the wrong time. I think some of them went out there thinking it was just a regular old protest and it got out of hand. I don't think those people, I think he should have pardoned them. But those ones who actually went in there beating police,
killing people,
spraying them with bear spray, doing all kind of things, killing them. Why in the world would you let someone out like that? And guess what? A lot of them, they got out of jail and things happened to them. Yeah. Karma is a mug. Things happen to them.
Yeah. The thing about it is we, a lot of folks don't know that Black folks are normally very conservative. I think I said this on the show before. We're naturally very conservative because of the crap that we don't endure. If we had a little weak back like Trump, we'd be dead. They be done hung us. Because you
don't think Trump's strong?
How can you think he's strong, man?
I didn't say.
If you say something on social media that he sees that is something against what he's doing or against him, he's gonna come back with something. I mean, any professional a president, and on top of that, you would ignore that stuff because you're going to get that. You're not going to please 100% of the people. You're going to get that as a president. You're going to get, the people who didn't vote for you that feel like you're not doing things right. They're going to, feel a certain way. They're going to say things. But for you to take it personal and start attacking people, like this is like it was when I was a manager at the university. We were certain things we did on the front line. We were the front line people that we didn't expect our VP to be involved in because you got other things to worry about. You got to worry about, the school profits and stocks and all of this. Why would you be down here worrying about, well, that person didn't enroll 5 students? He's down on the front line trying to do things that his frontline people should be doing. But guess what? His frontline people can't do it because he brought in people who didn't have any experience in the positions that he put them in. And so how can he go to them and say, hey, I want you to handle this? No, he brought those people in so he can control every aspect of it. And you can't do that. You can't have your hands in everything.
I got a question, Gina. What does DEI mean for you?
Who?
Mean to you?
You mean what does the
DEI? What does it mean to you?
Diversity, equality, and inclusion.
Okay. What would that mean in the workplace?
In the workplace, that would mean we're going to open it up for all people, all kinds, race, creed, color, and we're out of that batch. We're going to pick the most qualified people, no matter what the skin color, the race, or whatever. We're going to open it up for all to apply or all to be involved. And then from that batch, we will pick the most qualified people. That's what it means to me.
Now, didn't his guy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., just fire 17 people that are qualified in the cities and put people that didn't even know what they was doing?
Yep.
Like 8 people.
He don't even know what he's doing.
I know, but
he don't even know what his
department direct opposite is doing. Of what Trump was saying. Okay, we're gonna get rid of DEI. There it is, right there.
But
so here's a very
people took it as people, especially the MAGA. They took it in a way that, we're just gonna hire you because you're black. But that's not the situation. No. It was, we're gonna let all of you apply, and we're gonna pick the most qualified. And if they happen to be black, then that's it. They're the most qualified. You cannot say that everybody who came through DEI were not qualified individuals. And that's what they're saying. They're saying, they got this position because of their skin color or their race, not because of their qualifications.
There was a time for that. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 70s, there may have been a time to where you had to hire so many black folk. You had to have, so many minorities, so many women. There was a time for that, but I don't think that was the case. Basically, I'm ready to tell you that anybody that I've ran into that happens to be in a position that's not a traditional position for that person has earned it, and they have to do not 100%, but 200%, if not 1,000% better than somebody that was, of the white race, and then when they did it, they didn't get paid as much as the person that was there before.
Okay, so listen to what Felice says. She says that he's a dictator and doing all he can to overthrow democracy to make it official. America is no longer the home of the free. And Rachel says that he pardoned them to show support for the Klan.
Yep.
We need to get our plans together. He's showing that he doesn't care about the Constitution. He is testing the water currently to show that he doesn't need congressional support. We are watching the wrong things.
That's why I said.
I agree with Rachel. I agree with Rachel 100%. Because guess what? While we looking over here at him doing all of this crazy mess with Iran and Israel and all this other stuff, trying to get Greenland and turning Canada into all that crazy stuff. While everybody's watching that, guess what he's doing? He's trying to change the voting rules.
Yeah,
he's trying to take. He's trying to take control of how the voting goes. He's trying to get rid of mail-in voting, all of these things that's going, because even if he cannot, and Felice said it earlier, he's trying to He's going to try some way to run for a third term. Even if he can't do that, he's going to make a way for some of his MAGA people to step in and pick up where he left off. So don't think because he can't run for a third term, if you know, I don't think he can get away with that. But even if he could, if he can't, he's going to make a way for somebody just like himself to get in office and run the country and have everything laid out the way he wants it to be.
Boy, y'all hard on Trump, boy. Y'all hard on Trump.
But you know what? I really wish, I don't know why you don't have anybody on here that is still, you know, pro-Trump, because like I said, I would love to hear their logic behind it. I'm very open to hearing some things because like I said, I have family members who voted for Trump and they still feel like he's doing a great job. There are some things they don't like as well, but they still feel like if I voted again, I would vote for him. And they tell me the reasons behind it, and I listen to it, and I respect it.
Are they old?
But again, we went through
they're younger.
We went through a process of elimination, basically, okay? Went through the process of voting. They campaigned and did that. America voted for him.
I'm not even 100% sure of that, bro. I don't know. You could say what you want to say, but he had Musk in there for a reason.
Yes,
we wasn't protest. Nobody protested the win.
They're not gonna. We don't have. Who's gonna protest? I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm a party of nobody right now. I used to be a Democrat. I have moved away from the Democrat Party. If a Republican came in here and they promised and did the things that they promised that benefited me, I would vote for Republican. I'm not going to vote because it's a certain party. I'm going to vote for the person, whether they liberal, Republican, Democrat. I'm going to vote for them if they are giving us the things that we need as the people. I don't care what. See, too many people are stuck on party. Exactly. I don't think the Democrats right now, the Democrats are doing absolutely nothing. They're terrible right now. I would be ashamed to call myself a Democrat right now.
Well,
how many people do we have standing up? Jasmine Crockett, Al Green, what's her name?
Al Green. He's singing?
Yeah.
Al Green?
Not the singer.
Oh, okay.
What's her name? And Al Green is how old? 70 something, 78, 77, 78. He got to stand up for us. And what's the older one in California? We got Cortez. She's on the younger side. I think she's like 33. We have oh gosh. She's I love her and I can't even think of her name right now. But we don't even have we don't even have enough of them to make a difference of anything.
Well,
I just feel like they're too quiet. I mean, some of the ones that are stepping out, they're arresting them, they're handcuffing them, they're throwing them to the ground. And don't tell me, you know, oh, this was a one-off. This is happening quite frequently. And I think it's crazy that you are attacking a party. Well, you're attacking a party and nobody is doing anything about it.
You got to be able to. The one thing tyrants do very well is they create fear. And fear is something that Trump, again, he specialized in it. You know, just like you said earlier, sis, I don't care if they blue, red, green. I don't care what party you're from, as long as you're for the people. The people put him in. So, you know, you got to ask this question. Are we going backwards instead of forwards? Is people thinking, okay, we need to go back to the 30s and 40s where we used to do certain things to people if they mess with us any kind of way, you know, as a country or, you know, as a specific party of people. We dealt with them a whole lot differently than we deal with them. We have dealt with them in the last, 40, 50 years since civil rights. And I got rid of all of that stuff. My whole thing is my whole thing is that the South was a key in all of that. And I remember somebody saying the South rising again. The South has risen again and it's going to kill itself again. Just like
Maxine Waters. It just hit me. I couldn't think of her. Maxine Waters. And she's in her 80s. Like she's standing. These are the people that's standing up.
She's been standing up.
These are the people that's standing up.
She 1,000
She been
years old.
standing up for a
Yeah, but
minute.
listen, we got 1,000-year-olds standing up for us when we got all these others who's sitting down quietly, not saying, man, I'm gonna tell you, 2026
You know, you got
when
Hakeem
that
Jeffries
comes,
too.
people are going to voice how they're going to show how they feel at those polls.
I don't
Yeah, they
know.
will.
They're going to show
They,
how they
they,
feel.
they had one today. They had one. Sorry, this past election in New York for the mayor.
Yeah.
Primary.
And
as an
yeah,
independent.
I would really have been surprised if Cuomo, although I think Cuomo got railroaded. I think he kind of got railroaded. I mean, how in the world they treat him like that, and they let what's his name? He pardoned Eric what's his name?
Giuliani.
How he got pardoned for some? He was found guilty.
Well,
He was found guilty.
A lot of them people were found guilty in New York. I gotta say one thing about this deal that's going on right now. Whenever Trump lost, he was stacking the deck way before he started running again.
Oh yeah.
He
learned from the first time. He learned a lot from the first time around. He knew nothing the first time around.
Well, look, let me read some of these. Rachel said that first you take away people's gainful employment, then you take away the programs that could possibly help them, which then takes away the hope, leaving despair. Yep. It's he's taking it from pages of the Willie Lynch.
I said the same thing. Yes, ma'am.
Police said a lot of his appointees are totally unqualified. Robert Kennedy is a perfect example. He has plans on selling public lands to his cronies. Money rules the land. That other dude, the Secretary of Defense dude, he's unqualified.
Exit.
They all unqualified.
Yeah.
Those are people that he hung around.
Pam Bondi, the dumb blondie, is unqualified. I hope the Bar Association do something to her. I hope the bar, because listen, she is our attorney, not Trump's attorney. She is supposed to be the attorney for the people. We do not have a yes. No, she's Pam Bondi from the Justice, the DOJ.
The blondie. Gina doing spoken word tonight too. Go ahead. Pam Bondi from the blondie. The blondie. Okay.
Pam Bondi, the dumb blondie.
The thing about it is, you got a lot of folks in there that right now is not really good for our country. And again, that deck was stacked a long time before he got in office. And the question is, everybody out there listening to this show are probably gonna replay it. What you need to do is you need to get local, get good. This midterm need to be it needs to be it needs to be a definite, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You can't handle this shit no more. We're gonna handle it. And hopefully you don't have somebody in there twisting the buttons, and making sure that, whoever's running against them or running against his people,
Okay, so let me ask you guys again, because when I look at the news, I see people buying up this water, all of this food. I mean, they're buying gallons. I mean,
what?
You're always gonna have preppers. You're always gonna have preppers. But then again, that's what I said earlier.
So do you think we're heading to the world to another world war?
No, he's good.
I asked that earlier, but
that's for the weak-minded. That's fear. That's straight up unadulterated fear.
And that's what they try to put fear.
Yeah.
I was watching on my social media page, and some of my friends, some people that I know, they were like, why, saying how afraid they were with what was happening around. And they were like, why does it seem like everybody's so calm? And I'm over here freaking out. And I'm like, freaking out for what? First of all, if you're going to freak out, just stop watching the news. My son taught me that when he went to the military, because I saw where he was on a Defender, and Bahrain was shooting at their ship. And I'm nervous as heck. I called my son when he was able to take calls, and he was like, "Mom, stop watching the news. They over sensationalize it." Yep. He was like, they might as well have just been throwing beach balls at us. Because they don't have they don't have the weapons to fight the US, for one. And they don't have the manpower like we do. So when it comes to something like this, it didn't scare me. I wasn't afraid about it. But even if you think about the weapons of mass destruction, again, that they say they make it. How long do you think they could just whip that up in the kitchen?
No,
Well, we don't know the capabilities, though, do we?
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Whenever they start to make this stuff, viable for use to make a nuclear weapon, I think that's at some point in that threshold, there's a detectable amount of what's going on. Somebody ticked somebody off about that bunker, and Trump was like, "Well, we got something to get down 200 feet," which through solid rock, 200 feet is pretty deep. But I'm pretty sure when they was building that place, they reinforced the hell out of it because they knew somebody was gonna have something to get down in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, check this out.
They did.
Check this out. Byron said, Mango and Chain has a lot of DEI hires, and DEI being didn't earn it. Think about it. Think about it. Most of his key appointments came from Fox News. Now imagine if Obama had gotten any of his key appointments from BET.
He might have got Diddy.
Yeah, right.
Big ticket.
Diddy could have came with his baby oil, shot that baby oil at him.
She should have shot it at him, okay? Police said 2K was hilarious. The people I know were hoarding weapons versus food because it comes down to survival. The strong will survive.
Do you really want to be alive when that shit break down? If that shit shot off, do you really want to be? If somebody dropping a bomb, do you want to be here after a bomb has been dropped? Hell no, drop it right where I could see it go poof, so I can go poof, disappear. I don't even want to be in nothing like that. So I don't want nobody in my area freaking suffering like that.
I saw a thing on the news also where they're talking about bomb shelters from a long time ago, and there's this one particular bomb shelter that still got the powdered food. It still has everything that was in a bomb shelter back when they really needed a bomb shelter.
In the 50s. Yeah.
It's one here.
It's a bunch of them in Indiana.
One where?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of them in
Indiana.
Wow. Mm-hmm. But here's the funny part about it. That one had a capacity of, I think, 100-something people. You could only stick 100-something people in there. So what about the millions of other people outside, where they going to
go? L.
Well, some people are going to be like Noah, when Noah built the ark. Some people are going to not believe what's going on. They're not going to go in them anyway. That's what happened when Noah built the ark. He tried to get people on there and they were like, "You're crazy. It's not going to rain for 40 days. And it did. And, only the people that were on the ark survived along with the animals.
Like I said, I don't even want to be around if they drop a bomb. They drop a bomb and you're sitting there afterwards. You really want to be running around here fighting for, little scraps of food.
If it's a nuclear bomb and they drop the bomb,
just eat you from the inside out.
If it's a nuclear bomb and they drop the bomb, we're gonna be burnt. If we outside, we toast anyway.
If you see the light, you're gone.
Yeah, and that it's not like you can contain. The air is gonna blow it everywhere. It's not like it's gonna be contained. Exactly. I mean, again, I go back to Hiroshima.
Just slow death. People was running towards water, and when they was running towards the water with their skin full of radiation, it was just rolling off their bones.
Yep. I mean, think about it. And
so
yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they talk about that in the history books.
They don't.
That was huge. That
bombing was very huge. We're the only somebody that's dropped that kind of destruction on anybody. And I don't know if Trump is trying to say, okay, I got the balls to pull the trigger. You see, I pulled the trigger and dropped this 33,000 pound, bunker buster on these folks over here. Don't mess with us or whatever. He's not the most. He's like he's trying to project the stuff from the 1930s and 40s. Doing stuff back then. This ain't that kind of party, man. He needs to wake the hell up from this dream that he has, because you got to remember they didn't include anybody in those days, even white people. If you was poor, you was excluded. Period.
Felice is dropping some gems there, man. She said it's best to plan ahead. A perfect example is when the power goes out, we have become so dependent on technology we have forgotten how to operate without it. She also says, I agree with Mo. That's exactly what Trump is telling us and the world. Now, real quick, Byron said, Gina mentioned Noah. Here's a fun fact. We know that Noah wasn't black because there's no way that those 2 chickens would have survived the voyage.
They would have been he would have had to wait until a few more were hatched so that he could continue to eat chicken.
So look, y'all funny today, man, for real. See, y'all funny, Gina.
And one pig, and one of the pigs would have been gone too.
You know, I'm not really worried about what's happening now. I think it's crazy, and if it really bothers you, again, I'm gonna say it again. Stop watching the news because they will definitely freak you out, and if you may even be watching the wrong news station. They're all on their own agenda. There's certain ones you should go to that they're going to give you facts and let you make your own decisions, not try to sway you. A lot of these stations try to sway you one way or the left or right, as they call it.
But even
and
with
that's
that,
not the way news should be delivered. If you want to get it correctly, right? If you want to get it correctly, PBS.
All the public radio stations and all the national radio stations he's trying to kill because guess what? They don't have no skin in the game. They're just gonna tell the truth. Right. So he's still in the funding. I think though
we should be.
They've had endowments, from billionaires forever. I mean, and they get that public money. The government money gets but they can't kill public radio because the public is supported by the public, and most of the money comes from billionaires that have endowments that doesn't have forever that they've been used.
Hey, Rachel said that she watched the film on Hiroshima. It was devastating for multiple generations. The unborn babies had defects. Very sad.
Yeah, it's gonna have effects for years and years and years. Because again, that radiation is in the air. You're breathing it. It's in the water. There's no way to get away from it. Unless you in one of those bunkers. How long are you gonna last? I think that stuff stays in the air for how long?
25,000 years.
Yeah, so you're never gonna get away from it.
So you're going to be in the bunker. You're going to make it like, how we did our college dorms. We're going to make it,
This is one funny movie about that. It was 25 years. I'm sorry. 25 years. It stays in there, radiation. And what happened is they built a bunker and they thought that a nuclear was going. So they went and got in the bunker. And they were in the bunker for like 20 years. Then they finally came out, to see what's going on. And they came out and it was in the 90s. They was in there from the 60s or whatever. And they came out and they were just totally innocent of what's going on, But they found out that it wasn't a nuclear war. The kid had to go down into the bunker and bring them up and try to assure the dad that, when radiation wasn't flying around and everything. It's kind of a funny movie, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of it, Mo?
I had to look it up.
I think I might have saw that movie.
You probably did. It was one of those movies back in the 90s. he fell in love with a girl. I mean, it was decent.
Felice said, Felice said it's a good idea to have battery operated radios. She has a friend who is a ham operator who converses with people all over the world. I think I'll save my stuff for the closing comments, which is, actually where we're almost at now. Actually, let's do the closing comments now because I'm quite sure y'all got some lengthy things to say. So, Mo, let's start with you, bro.
Mo?
Again, like I said before.
I thought Mo was
I'm saying it to exhaustion because it's unbelievable. I know some of us even hold our mouth out from day to day. How many things this guy's get?
Well, no, Mo, she's laughing. Okay, I'm laughing too because when I said what you think, Mo, and you was like, we thought you were snoring.
No,
go ahead, man. Don't pay no attention to her. Go ahead.
He's think what we got to remember. Stop, Tina. He came back. Stop. He done came back, and from the first conversation we had about the same subject, he came back and he did the same. He's been doing the same thing ever since we talked about him the first time, and that was divert and make a diversion, break stuff and fix it and play like he did something, and he's gonna keep on doing this stuff because he's got something else cooking, y'all. I'm just telling you. The thing, I think what we need to do is spread the word for the midterm. Whoever's running in your area, of course, it doesn't have to be, a Democrat. It could be a Republican as long as he's full of people. And that's the other thing that he may have done inadvertently. Make people take a good long look at who they put in office. So that's all I got to say.
Gina, what you got? Take your time.
Well, what I said, I'm gonna say again. If you're thin skinned and this stuff that's happening is depressing you, or you can get news depressed. Yeah. Stop watching the news. Live your life just like you've been living. But the thing you should do is prepare yourself. Prepare. If you feel that with currency may change over whatever, just prepare yourself. Don't spend your days worrying about what's going on. I think this is a part of God's plan. Yep. Trump had to be elected. I think it's teaching a lot of people lessons. It's teaching a lot of U.S. citizens a huge lesson, a lesson about life, a lesson about opening up your eyes and paying attention to what's going on with you, preparing, getting your own self together. Because it is what it is. It's not going to change. I don't care how much you watch the news. I don't care how much you get upset or worried about what's going on around you. Nothing is going to change. People are out there protesting. I'm not going to protest. That God didn't put that on me. I'm not the protester, but he chose some people to go out there and protest. They out there protesting, letting the government know how they feel. Peaceful protesting. I think it's crazy to go and tear up your neighborhoods. That's just the dumbest thing. And I don't care whether you're black, white, or whatever, to go and tear up your neighborhoods because you're upset about something is crazy, ridiculous to me. Because when you go home, you're stuck with that tore up neighborhood. They're not gonna come in and fix it up for you. So right. Stop all that craziness. Burning cars and looting and all that. This is just too ridiculous. But you know what? Just live your life. Live your life just as you were before. Continue to live your life and stop watching this propaganda. Stop following this stuff. Stop listening to these people in your ear because you're going to be crazy. I'm telling you, just stop and live. That's all just live.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Hey, you know what, though? A couple of points that both of you guys made. I don't think we should be panicking about anything. But in particular, we shouldn't have to be concerned, but don't be panicking, okay? Because you know what? Some of this stuff that's going on it's making them stocks look good. So people gonna be making some money off of some of this craziness, okay? Because they're being reactive. So I think that number one, like Gina said, if you got thin skin, don't watch the news. You know what I'm saying? Don't watch it. Let's stop panicking. And the other thing that Gina said was, you know what? We knew this was going to happen at some point. It's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is in the Bible. So we shouldn't be surprised. We knew in some way, form, or fashion, the Bible's prophecies were going to be fulfilled. And it just so happened that now there's another page that we can say, you know what? It said it was going to happen. The Bible says it was going to happen. And so did The Simpsons. All right? So...
Y'all don't watch The Simpsons either. It'll really be crazy because they've been
so
right.
I'm just saying, look, if you the only way that you can really be safe or have the proper thoughts about everything is if you get the proper knowledge about it. So yes, watch the news, have these discussions and choose your path. But at the end of the day, understand that this is what's supposed to happen. This is what's going to happen. All right. So we can't fight it. There's nothing we can do. We got to continue to live our lives the way that we know we want we want our lives to go. Anyway, God made it for us. All right. Like I said again, this stuff was prophesied. So, you know, what are we talking about? What are we doing? Getting scared. Trump is all about the deal. All of his people are making money. The Trump administration speaks about the middle class, but nothing about the poor. Amen. Look, Distinguished Authors Guild is going to be on November the 7th. I was going to say January, but it's passed already. November the 7th. All right. It's going to be a great opportunity to network. And it's, you know, it's about the authors, but as they share their stories and as you get the chance to network and talk to them, it could possibly help you in anything that you're doing. Actually, okay, you never know what direction you might come. You got to be open for conversation and open to learn. Period. And this is going to be this is a great. It gets bigger and bigger and better every single year. So I'm telling you guys, I'm not a Distinguished Authors Guild ambassador because they didn't ask me to, but I'm still going to be pushing it and promoting it as heavy.
You don't
as
even
I can.
have a book.
I got no, Gina. You remember that day at the Browns at that place? I bought a lot of books.
I said you have not written a book. Let me rephrase it. You have not written a book.
Okay, but I honorary. I'm a celebrity honorary.
You honorary anyway.
You know. But all I'm saying is, man, open your minds, everybody, and listen and learn. Okay, because the Distinguished Authors Guild has that for you, all in one evening. And you know what? I should get on stage and tell you guys and give a quiz. What have you learned today? And sit back and watch and take a microphone to these people. I'm serious, Gina. We should do that. We should do that because I want to know if you came up here.
Well, you know, we always had a red carpet. Well, we can get people on the red carpet and ask them that.
Yeah, we could do that. All right, we could definitely do that. Man, God is blessing all of us, man. I'm telling you, I just can't talk about some of the stuff that I'm getting blessed with, even though I'm having car accidents left and right. But we're gonna be good because I'm still here.
You just be careful, and everybody keep your sanity. Keep your sanity. You know what? We need to have a comedy show so that people can let loose and you know, get away from some of this stuff that's happening in the world. Just have a comedy night.
Let me hook that up.
You know,
but
yeah, make everybody laugh.
But don't we need to focus on these primaries coming up and focus on these candidates? Because the reason why we are in this predicament right now is because we voted on, during the presidential, but didn't nobody vote in the primaries in these local, governors, mayors, Senate, and, all of these other ones. The reason why the House is packed full of these people is because didn't nobody care to, take the time out and look at these candidates they were putting in there. That's the
bottom line is vote.
Yeah, people think that the presidential voting for the president is the only thing they need to do. I vote every time it comes up, even locally. I vote for everything because I know it's going to affect me and my loved ones, who's ever in there. It's going to affect. And I think I was saying that even before voting came about, it's going to affect you in one way or another. And now it's affecting a lot of people who didn't think it would affect them.
Well, maybe we need to have 2 or 3 shows as this cycle goes up, on local places where, Michigan, Indiana, and Tennessee, so folks can, and then anybody else that wants to chime in and talk about their candidate or even the candidates themselves coming on. We just need something so we can have some education on where they're running, where these people are running at. We don't need this mess no more for another 4 years or 8 years or whatever. We have to make people understand that these people work for us. They work for us.
They're supposed to. They're not working for us right now.
No, they're not.
They're working for Trump. They're not representing the people, the citizens at all. And that's the part I don't like is the fact that it doesn't, and that includes Republicans and Democrats. None of them are working for us.
Get me wrong.
Guess what though? Tomorrow, Rachel's going to be here with the CEO Nuggets. We're going to let some more stuff off. We seem like we just let it all off already. Okay, I don't know if we're going to do it tomorrow. No, we're going to do it tomorrow. We got some other stuff. The fun stuff is tomorrow that we let off our talk about Thursday. It's the fun stuff. So we get it together, y'all. Everything's going to be good, all right? It's Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I was almost getting ready to do it the wrong way again, Gina.
Don't do it.
Where did you get those outros and intros from?
Hey, Gina, did you change Did you change the opening?
The opening and the closing got everybody's name on them. From the
What
old
happened
show.
to what happened to it?
I don't know. That was the only one that was there. The one I played when I was on was the only one that was on there.
I mean, both of them changed. I don't know what happened.
Let's talk about it after behind the scenes.
We're transparent. We showed you everything. It's 8 o'clock. Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.